Hello.
Hi, how's it going? Welcome to Cycle Podcast 37.
Literally 2 weeks away, and this is the enthusiasm I met with. So.
Shit, I'm still wearing my glasses. Well, I guess I'll roll with that, won't I? Welcome to the Cycle Podcast, episode 37. I am Kieran, and I have had a bad day. Here's Rob.
I
So
have had
speak
an
for
okay
an hour and
day.
a half.
Yeah, you just sit there and have a nap. So today we bring you some news, as always, and the topic of most controversial metal album covers. So we've decided to go with 10 each, and we will reel those off very soon. Followed by the review of
Unsigned Week.
Yeah, and that is
The
forget the
Ranch
name.
with 100 smiles per day?
Per hour.
Per hour.
Per day. So yeah, cool. We'll kick things off.
Hey Sophie, welcome for joining us. Welcome for joining us. It's not a sentence that I usually use having a stroke. I use nah, not today.
This is gonna be a great one. The news.
The news.
So we start off with download announcements.
Yes, less than 2 hours fresh. This announcement. I don't want to go for every band because I can't be bothered, to be honest. But NXT UK have announced that they will have their wrestling there. Hi, Sophie. I don't know if I said that, didn't I? Who knows it?
You did, yeah.
And yeah, they're actually going to be recording episodes there this year. That's dandy.
It is, yeah.
But that's on top of music. And the music announcements, there's a few bands. Most notably this time is Simple Creatures, a band I've never heard of until today. And they've already got, only after releasing 2 songs, they've got to the headline spot on the 3rd stage. Bit of a piss take when bands have to work hard to get where they are.
Yeah.
And these guys are like, oh, they're a supergroup featuring Alex Gascast from All Time Low and Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. You get a slot. Fuck you. Fuck it. Ooh.
Fuck it, woo.
Fuck it, woo.
Fuck it, woo. Fuck it, woo.
Fuck it, woo.
The woo-woos.
The woo-woos. Anyway, so that's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Well done to be announced.
Yeah. Also, after a month after they announced it themselves, before it was made official by the festival, Enter Shikari are also headlining the 3rd stage on the Sunday, which is actually, to be fair, is fine for us obviously, but it's quite low down the bill for them considering they've been 2nd stage headliners before. They've done like quite high up the bill on main stage a couple of times as well.
It's fantastic. I deserve a love heart too, Sophie. That's racist. Yeah, I think because they've just had a tour where they've done loads of small shows, maybe just want to carry on that flow.
Yeah, maybe. To
Cool.
be fair though, I'm pretty sure no matter where they play at Download Festival with the release of the last 2 albums, the crowd's going to be fairly small.
I mean, with just to quickly list off some of the other bands because they're in front of me now. Simple Creatures, as I've just mentioned, the Wonder Years, Graveyard, Cavell Attack, Lost Society, the Who or the Who, but spelled differently, and Dinosaur Pile Up. Wow.
Cool.
Moving on to even better news.
Oliver Sykes from the lovely pop band Bring Me the Horizon has ruptured his vocal cords. So this comes as news that was probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now. But we're still going to talk about it because it's great stuff. I don't know what that means. I know they've cancelled some of their most sort of immediate shows. I don't know how long he's going to be out of action for.
Yeah, I'm guessing like 3 months-ish.
Yeah, they usually sort of say, I mean, he released like a statement saying that if he basically sings at all, he's told that he could do permanent damage, quite frankly.
Just spotted it. Do you think a Tom tattoo on his arm is for Tom Searle?
Are you saying that it is, or...
Do you think it is? They're really close. They're good. Not really close, but they're Bring Me an Architects are quite big fans, or friends with each other.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well be. Yeah, it could very well be.
Sort of throw it in there now.
If so, then that's a maybe slightly redeeming factor.
Oh, absolutely.
Still a bad end. Moving on to the last piece of news then, which is Alexis on Fire have released their new song, something to do with drugs. And it's their first song in the last 10 years, near enough. So
yeah, mad.
Drastically different from a lot of their older stuff. I'm not sure if they've changed heavy vocalist. I don't think any of the lineup, like the band lineup, has changed at all. But his vocals have taken quite a battering over the years, and he sounds extremely different. But yeah, Dallas Green's vocals still pretty good. Just kind of found. I mean, have you listened to it at all?
No.
Have you listened to their older stuff?
No.
No. Yeah, it's quite drastically different. You can still sort of tell some signature marks of them in there.
Yeah, I think I might have listened to a track or two like back in college, like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But like they're pretty screamy back then, weren't they?
Yeah, Crisis, the album Crisis is yeah, fairly heavy. It's a good blend of like heavy vocals and his singing as well. But yeah, I found that the heavy vocals were kind of a bit crap in my opinion, and that Dallas Green's like clean vocals kind of, yeah. Sophie Ray says production quality has dropped significantly, so and yeah, I just found that it was lacking a little bit in all fairness. That is that. Hopefully, if they're going to carry on releasing some more music, that they obviously will be watching Deciphered podcast and will take.
Obviously inspired by us.
Yeah, 100%.
I saw actually we inspired their name when they first started. We weren't around then, but they foresaw the fire in the background, and just assumed of Alexis.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
No, I can follow you.
That's good. Follow me to the wall.
Interesting.
Cool. So I just get some enthusiasm.
Yeah, you're half asleep there, sir. You've had a bad day, but
I fucking slept a lot of it as well. Right, so going onwards, yeah, right,
yeah, right.
Fucking controversial album topics. Right, yes, let's start on the topic.
Cool. So in case you missed that, topic is most controversial metal album covers. So this is obviously the graphics that albums were released with. Now, not all of them. I saw that out of the corner of my eye. Oh my god. So some of these didn't actually make the final cut, shall we say? But the majority of them did and were released to the public, and in most cases met with severe disapproval.
Yes. Must point out beforehand that we have censored some of these because we would like to stay on the net, and some just should be censored anyway, to be honest. But all album covers are widely available on the internet for you to look at, if you so choose.
I strongly recommend that you do, because some of these will literally take your breath away with how disgraceful they really are.
Yeah. So, I'll go first and he'll follow and roll from there. So first things first is Celtic Frost to Megatherion, right?
Righto.
So this album artwork is just pretty fucking cool. I think it looks pretty awesome. So it's designed by H.R. Geiger. The Satan Eye painting depicts Satan using the crucified Jesus as a slingshot or bow and arrow.
Crikey be to fucking God.
Yeah, it's definitely picked up some controversy. It's, like I said, Satan slingshotting Jesus.
Yeah.
Pretty mad. Obviously, you got the tentacle style things at the background there with they call it a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top hat.
Definitely, you can tell, especially with those things, you can tell it's like an H.R. Geiger thing. Yeah, and it just looks awesome. I love this album cover.
Yeah. I would probably have it framed.
Yeah. I think you can probably buy it, like at least prints of it, because it's a famous painting anyway.
Okay, fair.
At least in his land of the world. It's no Mona Lisa.
In his land of the world.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I've always wanted to go to that land of the world.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything more that you want to say about To Megatherion?
No. I don't have like a great deal to say about them. Here it is. So that is that.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
It's pretty wild.
So Wes, as you actually decided, I'm not going to take any credit for it. You decided to do for this. We're going to rate each album as we go along.
Yes.
Out of controversy, 0 to 10. Not how good it is or how bad it is or how disgusting it is, but controversy itself.
Yeah. So just in our personal opinion, what we think.
Yeah. And with this, I'm going to go straight down the middle with 5.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's massively controversial. I get why it's controversial enough because it's Satan basically owning Jesus.
Yeah.
And using Jesus as a play toy. So religiously, I'm sure it's very controversial.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
in the Richter scale, in the richer scale of things, in the overall scale of things, on the scale of things, of 1 to 10, I'd give this a 5.
Cool. I would actually probably go slightly lower than that.
Wow.
I'm going to go for a 4. because I think in terms of sort of religious outbursts, there are a few more on our list most likely that are a little bit worse than that.
Certainly.
And yeah, personally, I don't really see too much wrong with it, but then that's a bit biased coming from a non-believer,
Atheist.
an atheist. Cool. So are you ready to move on?
I'm ready.
You are ready. I decided to start off light and work my way into the gruesomeness. So I have gone with Dookie by Green Day.
Dookie.
Dookie. So started off lightly with a cartoon bombing, particularly a problem in the States for obvious reasons. Depiction of someone getting bombed and lots of civilization being torn to shreds with it. There's a couple of actual like A-bomb looking things being dropped out of the plane that you can see there that have the album name on.
Mm-hmm.
And just yeah, there seems to be a bit of a general struggle there. Again, not really too. It's nothing sort of too.
Nothing really over the top. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I think the most offensive part of this is that they've not capitalised the D for Dookie at the bottom.
Potentially, yeah, especially when you consider that the ones on the actual bomb themselves are
correct.
Capitalised, yeah.
Yeah. What does it say at the top? Bad yen? Bad year, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that's a Goodyear kind of knockoff there. A bit of a reference to that. Like at the Super Bowl games and stuff like that, when they've got like the blimps that have Goodyear.
Oh, I see. Yes, now I get you.
Bad year. I'd like to see what the print that's coming off of the back of the blimp says, but there's no fucking way, even with your glasses, that I could make that out from here.
At your woman. That's all I can see. It's probably not eat at your woman.
It's probably not, no. I have it on pretty good authority that might not actually be a sentence. So there you have it. Okay. Oh, here we go. We're gonna have a look now.
Eat at Chef Wong's. I was close.
You were close, actually. Yeah.
See, I saw W-O. That's woman.
To be fair, yeah, you actually. I might need to go and have my eyes tested because you saw that a lot more easily than me. So, what are your thoughts on this then? Just generally speaking, it's not really all that.
It's not crazy. No, I think it's a light-hearted thing in a way.
Shout out to our tech guy John for being on hand there, fucking making magic happen.
When a man loves a woman. Nailed it. Yeah, the monkey's pretty cool. It's like throw. I'm guessing he's holding shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably
holding a ducky.
Yeah, there you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, I like the album cover. It's interesting, nice cartoony thing. But do you mean out of controversy?
So let's move on to the scale. What are you thinking? 2? Yeah, I would probably settle with a 2 as well. To be fair, I can't believe it stirred as much of a shitter in the States as it did, but there you go. Cool. So who have you got second on your list of magic? Rating Kieran singing and not the album cover. Oh, okay.
Right, yeah.
10 out of 10. Nice. Fair play.
Yeah, so this is. I tried to keep not do the same band twice, but due to the fact I wrote half this list 2 weeks ago, and the other half today. I forgot. So here's the first of my 2 Slayer album artworks. This one is Christ Illusion. So the artwork depicts Jesus, who you may have heard of, who is missing limbs and standing almost in a waist-high pool of blood.
That's pretty grim.
Yep.
Pretty gruesome.
In this pool of blood, there are many severed heads, including that of what looks like a nun. To add to this controversy, the entire stock of albums in India were recalled and destroyed.
Christ.
Because of this album cover.
Wow. Okay, fair. That's a bit fucked up.
Yeah. It's a pretty gruesome image. Parts of it aren't very lifelike or realistic. But just notice that left head looks pretty realistic compared to the rest.
Yeah, it kind of does actually.
Yeah, that's. I'm guessing the one behind the big head that's lying down. It's not lying down; it's floating, but it's either a nun or like Mother Teresa or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say it kind of looks like it could be Mother Teresa actually. And that's understandably gonna cause a bit of a bit of a ruckus there. But again, I mean, it's not like sort of painful to look at, if that makes sense. It's not. It doesn't make you wince or anything. It's just kind of like, wow, that's a bit graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really see.
Also, the fact that Jesus has got a Jesus tattoo, or it looks as though.
He does have a Jesus tattoo with the Illuminati eye in the middle of his chest, which is pretty jokes.
One damn.
He's also wearing an eye patch, like a bit of a pirate.
Yeah.
It's pretty jokes. Cool. So it's your thing. Whereabouts on the scale does it lie for yourself?
So obviously, the fact of the India thing is pretty damn controversial, but going based on the image alone, which is what we're doing,
and your personal opinion. So try not
Yeah.
to let any biases like that sort of affect it. Your
yeah,
personal
absolutely.
opinion.
It's probably like I'd say a 4, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a 5 again. We'll go 4 because it doesn't really depict Jesus that much. Although that is Jesus there, supposedly. It's
Missing his hands, obviously, because of the crucifixion as well.
Yep.
So, right.
And also the dead bodies, the dead nun or Mother Teresa. That's pretty controversial. We'll run back up to a 5. I'd say so.
Okay. So pretty much like slap bang down the middle then.
Yeah, it's not overly graphical, so that's helpful
Yeah.
to the non-controversial cause.
Yeah.
But the point it's making is pretty damn controversial.
Fair. So yeah, I would probably agree with that. Again, I think there are worse ones on the list. However, it's definitely got to be worse than either of the two that we've had so far. So I am gonna say 5 as well. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems pretty apt for that. Again, I agree with what you were saying in the sense that it's not. So Sophie Ray says that right front head is creepy. The eye, yeah, it is a little bit. Kind of looks like one of the zombies out of Resident Evil 5. It's a bit spooky.
What did you give the first one? Sorry, my first one. What did you give that in terms of controversy?
Your first one being Celtic Frost.
Yeah.
I gave that a 4, I believe.
4, right, okay.
So yeah, it's definitely a little bit sort of a step above that. So I would say 5 is probably fairly accurate in that sense. Yeah.
Yeah, damn right. Fair play. What have you got next, sir?
So, perhaps one of the most well-known album covers known to man is Nirvana, Nevermind.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously, you know where I'm going with this straight away.
Yeah.
We have a newborn baby in the water, a fairly newborn toddler, little thing, floating around with his dinky out, chasing the dollar bill.
Yeah. Yes. With his dinky out.
With his dinky out, yeah. With his cock.
Wow.
So I mean, literally a couple of pixels there because it's a baby's penis.
Yeah, I don't want to show that.
No, it's quite frankly, I don't really understand how they got away with this without. I mean, obviously there was a bit of an uproar about it when it came out.
I'm assuming you're gonna bring Kurt's quote into this. What he said about it.
Yeah. So basically, obviously the album, which I believe was EMI. Can't quite remember if
I think you're right. Actually, it rings a bell.
It was either EMI or Sub Pop, one of the two. Basically called for him to censor the image, and he basically said that the only reason or the only time that he would agree to a censor is if the censor over the baby's penis would say, if this offends you, then you're obviously a closet paedophile.
Yeah.
So naturally they opted out of doing that because that probably would have caused more of a stir than this ended up doing. And to be fair, at the time of release, obviously the record label had a few things to say about it, and obviously there were people out in the public that had a few things to say about it. Generally speaking, it didn't meet that much hate.
No? Good.
No, I think the sort of the power of the album and the kind of like this, where it is in society and where it was at that point in time upon release. Do you know what I mean? Like people bought this album and it has been hailed as life changing for a lot of people. Been kind of like music changing the face of music, that kind of level of album. So I think that kind of like dominance overtook the controversy behind the cover, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's baby nudity. If a band managed, or you know, let's imagine that they released this today. Can you imagine what kind of shit they would
we live in a whole new world now where everyone's fucking offended by everything.
Yeah,
I would say like
sorry.
adult nudity is more acceptable, but that would be censored immediately.
Yeah, for sure. There's no way in hell that they'd get away with that. I mean, even Kurt's suggestion of I will only agree to censor it if we can put this massively offensive slogan over the censor, even that would probably get denied nowadays because labels have even more control over artists than they did back then.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's funny you mention that actually, and it's kind of on the same topic. We'll talk more about nudity later.
Oh.
No. And but yeah. So it's kind of like acceptable in the world for nude babies, I guess. It's more acceptable than like if they're a child or a young teenager, because it's more of a natural thing when they're a baby, I guess. Yeah, so for the image definitely is not sexual, because that would be fucking weird if you thought that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I still completely see why the controversy is there, and I would personally say it is controversial.
Okay, so whereabouts on the scale would you pop this one?
Give it probably a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I would probably say 6 or a 7 even. Maybe.
Yeah, I was pushing maybe 7. Just because, again, while it is more natural that it's a baby rather than adult or any other age, it's still a new baby and still can be seen very wrong.
Yeah. Sophie Ray makes a point there as well. To be fair, the image isn't sexual, which is true. However, there's just no need for it really. They could have put like a lifesaver around him or something, like a little rubber dinghy to cover his dinky.
Yeah.
Cool.
Going on to the next one. It is, I believe, Cannibal Corpse with Tomb of the Mutilated.
Okay. Interesting.
So the image is simply 2 undead corpses. I wrote covers here, but who knows what I was thinking. Corpses. I fucked it. Yeah, 2 undead corpses enjoying the act of oral sex. The bloods and gore definitely add to the shocking imagery. The artwork was in fact banned in Germany and received a censored cover elsewhere around the world.
Crazy. So basically what happened with the other one in India happened in Germany with this then.
Yeah.
Essentially they recalled it all and burnt.
Effectively, yeah.
Crazy.
So we'll explain what's there because we can do that. And that is, well, you can see obviously the one person that's there.
Yep.
The bottom left hand side is obviously like, it's basically just the torso, but that torso is going down heavily on the genitalia of the other dead thing.
Some majorly cunnilingual things happening there.
Cunnilingual.
Hey.
And there you go.
I've just received the all-important message from Pete.
Excellent.
I knew it was going to happen. So, yeah, not really much else to say. I mean, they've got also the skull of somebody with eyes and the ability to still make a bit of a grimace at the scene that's depicted before him.
They seem pretty shocked, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, again, maybe this is kind of adding to the image there. It's like you've got 2 corpses getting frisky with each other, and they've even got somebody watching in.
Yeah. Obviously, it is a very controversial thing in terms of its oral sex, and that's pretty bad to be on an album cover. And the fact it's so gory and disgusting, that's another thing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So what would you rate it, sir?
I would probably have to give this one a solid 7, close to an 8 maybe. But
yeah?
I would say perhaps a solid 7. Let's settle with that because it is very gory as well. Obviously picked. I'm not going to say that.
What were you going to say?
No. But yeah.
No.
No.
Right, tell me afterwards.
Yeah, all right. But yeah, it's very gory. It's kind of. I mean, fair play to him. That's commitment to the lifestyle. I like it, but still. Yeah, solid 7. What about you?
I would agree 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a lower 7, closer to 6. Just because we can tell it's animated, but that's not really the point. It is oral sex and it is very gory and disgusting.
The sheer irony of having the parental advisory explicit lyrics on the front of one of the goriest fucking album covers known to man.
Yeah.
It's pretty jokes.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything more to say about that?
No, sir.
Alrighty, so we move on to All You Can Eat by Steel Panther. which is probably the most tame, as our tech guy John pointed out before the podcast. This is actually, for Steel Panther especially, is probably the most tame that we have of them all. There's actually no naked women on this. There's half naked women, but no fully naked women. However, depiction of the Last Supper, complete with half-nude women in suggestive positions, caused a pretty large religious stir in the States upon release.
Yes.
So for obvious reasons, USA still being very largely Christian and Catholic, and very very certain of that and very pushy of that, if I can say so.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely bound to cause some shit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would class this as quite controversial.
Yeah.
Pitting this against the Slayer one I had earlier for Christ Illusion, where that was also obviously quite controversial with the anti-God stuff, I would say this, in fact, is more controversial because it's such an iconic image in Christianity, and
it's arguably the most, isn't it? Really,
probably, yeah.
Because this is
other
like
than the crucifix, the crucifixion, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, yeah, it's not only depicting one person as Jesus, it's the scantily clad women that you have across there that really add to the controversy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep this as a 6 or 7. 6.
Fair. Yeah, I'd probably agree. Like a 5, maybe a 6. It is horrendously fucking out there, really, for them. I didn't really realise that they were a very anti-religious kind of band, I guess. But I mean, that might not necessarily be the point in it. But
I think they're pushing themselves more that they're God-like or God-worthy.
There we are. Cool. I mean, that's pretty much all I had to say about it, really. I just thought it was worth adding to the mix purely because they're an American band, and this is definitely going to cause the biggest stir in their home country. So there you have it.
There you go. So we go on to Metallica with Load.
Okay.
So a lot of people know what this is, but if you don't, you're about to find out, funnily enough, because that's what we're here for. Teaching. So this artwork is an original artwork by artist Andres Serrano. It was created in 1990, and it was made by mixing bovine blood and his own semen.
Okay, so it's the artist, it's not James Hetfield's semen.
No, I thought it was James Hetfield's semen.
Right, okay. I mean, it's still disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But so bovine blood.
Bovine blood.
Forgive the stupidity, but bovine is
Like an ox or something?
right, okay.
Or a bovine.
A cow?
A cow.
Oh.
If only
So
someone
says cows. Wow.
If only someone would mouth the word cow to me rather than moo, I would have got it quicker. So it's a moo.
It's a moo.
Yes, it's
the blood of a moo and the semen of a man.
It's a moo. Anyway,
it's a moo. Oh my god.
Slap the moobs.
Slap the boobs. It's a moo.
It's a moobs.
Oh.
So yeah, made by mixing bovine blood and the artist's semen between two pieces of plexiglass, because that's what you want to come on, isn't it, on your days off?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the most organised masturbation in the world.
So, in a complete contrast, in what I thought was James Hetfield to start off with, James Hetfield has expressed his displeasure and dislike multiple times, saying that it was Lars and Kirk's way of having their fun. And they kept pretending to be gay and doing silly stuff like that. So James Hetfield just went along with it, even though he hated the idea.
What does them pretending to be gay have anything to do with getting an artist's semen and cow blood, moo
Apparently
blood?
that was the silly stuff.
Okay. I'm a little bit lost for words, really.
Maybe it was a Mao cow. Mao cow?
A male. It was a Mau Moo.
It's a Mao moo.
Not that the one was. It's a Mau Moo.
Mao Mao.
Giddy up, up, Mau Moo. Oh, we have fun here. And they have fun there.
So much fun.
Jizzing between two bits of perspex. But there you go.
So on the controversial scale, I class this as about, I keep saying this, I think this is my third 6. 666. It's a 6 because it's, well, you can't tell what it is from looking at it straight away. Not everyone knows by looking at it going, oh my god, that's blood and semen.
But the minute that you get, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily assume semen straight away, but the minute that somebody even puts that thought in your head, it's like, wow, I can really see that now. The consistency is there. You've got the darker red bits and stuff that are just like haven't mixed very well.
Yeah.
It's rather disgusting.
Yeah.
It's rather disgusting. So you're going to give this a 6.
Yeah,
I'm going to give this a 7, actually, because
I feel
mostly because it's just disgusting.
Yeah,
really. It's a bit
pretty
gross,
grim.
like mixing your jizz with bovine blood. I mean, more to the point, how did he get bovine blood? Did he just buy a steak and empty the little juices?
Possible.
Fucking grim. Cool. Are you ready
I'm so
for the
ready.
next? So we move on to Last Days of Humanity with Hymns of Indigestible Suppuration.
Yes. Now this is heavily censored, as you can see.
Yes. So the first of the majorly censored ones. Cool. So I'll talk you through this. Found this one online as they're an unfamiliar band to me. The overview of the cover is simple. Someone is missing 80% of their skull and are lying dead in a big pool of their own blood. I feel like we see a lot of this in a lot of ways, particularly when we were going through albums of Swedish nature the other week. I found quite a few death depictions. Granted, most of them didn't look like they were a straight up fucking photograph like this does.
Yeah.
But I digress.
It's very messed up. Like how they can put that on the shelves is insane.
Yeah, a little bit. This is actually one of the ones that made it through the net as well and sold copies, particularly in, well, everywhere, I believe. I'm pretty sure they released the same artwork for every country.
Yeah.
So fucking hell.
Mad. It would never happen these days.
No, you'd get fucked up for sure. But yeah, this is one of those ones where if you've got a bit of a stomach for gore and blood, I would suggest having a look at this one, mostly because it is scarily realistic. To the point where I'm pretty sure it is like a crime scene photo or something, because he's literally missing most of his face.
Yeah, it's bad.
Why are you laughing at that?
Because it's just hilarious in terms of how it came to be. Like, what do they do? Just like, right, take a photo of this guy. Right, sweet. Hey, record label, we've got an album. Here's the album work. Oh yeah, sweet, cool. Where we put it out? Where did they not consider?
No intervention whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a bit fucked up.
I like
As
it.
you can see as well in the top left corner there, you've got a little bit blurred out, which is like a part of brain or kidney or some shit like that. That's yeah, obviously worth pixelating out as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is obviously pretty gross, pretty controversial, I would say. What are your thoughts?
It's a 10.
It's a 10, straight out of 10.
It is. Don't you think so? It is
Couldn't agree
a
more.
outright. It's a photo of a dead body with his brain out.
It's a 10.
But yeah, it's
Oh my god.
it's awful. Like
It is real fucking
like
bad.
he did not consent to that.
Well,
I would not want my corpse being on an album cover.
You never know though. That might have been his literal dying wish. It's just like, right, make me famous on your album.
Okay, yeah, that could be the case. Regardless,
I'll be honest with you though. Looking at the sheer amount of damage done to his skull, I would be very surprised if a firearm was actually responsible for this. It looks like blunt force trauma, like that kind of like, or getting hit by a truck kind of damage done to his skull.
sweet Jesus.
So yeah, I mean, in some senses that kind of makes it a little bit worse in my mind as well, because it could have literally been like a genuine accident. The guy died in an accident or whatever, and they've used his.
Yeah, would you rate it lower than a 10?
I would probably say a 9.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
sweet Jesus.
There are worse.
Yeah, like I say, when you say that, there are worse, but there's definitely one worse.
There's a couple.
But I just don't think just because it's worse doesn't mean it should be dropped. This is still 10.
Oh no, yeah, it's still crazy controversy behind it. So, that is what we're measuring at the end of the day. So,
Yep.
cool.
Cool wipings.
Who is your fifth?
So is it only fifth?
Yeah.
Fifth, 6, 7. I only got 8 albums.
Have you missed a couple?
Maybe.
You
Celtic
actually
Frost.
have, because
Yeah, totally
that
have.
didn't get done.
Yeah, sorry, John. We want to go back to number 2 with Rage Against the Machine. Sorry. Rage Against the Machine with the album Rage Against the Machine. So, yeah, using the infamous image of Buddhist monk, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Thich Quang Duc, after he set himself alight in protest of the South Vietnamese government persecuting Buddhists.
Okay, so I'm obviously, that's really sad, but his surname is Duck.
Well, it could be Duke.
Duke.
This like the accents on his name. So thick or thick, right, is normally as it is. Then Quang has got like a little arrow above the A, and then Duck with the D has got like a line through the D, and the U has got like a U, but it's flicked up there and then flicked round, and the comma above, like apostrophe above. So it's Duke, Duck.
No, just stick with the original. Thick Quan Duck.
Thick Quang Duck. Apologies again if I got that wrong, and if you're somehow offended. Yeah, so he set himself on fire in a protest. This is the image from that. It is an official photo. Didn't blur it out because I didn't think about it really, and I think it's fine enough to be there because it's one of those iconic images that are all over the internet anyway. And if you want to fuck with us, Facebook and YouTube, we will do nothing about it because we can't.
Yep, that sounds about right. Yeah, it's pretty controversial still. Definitely worse on the list, and like you said, it is a fairly pinnacle image, but I didn't know much about this at all beforehand. So I mean, where are you going to pop it on the skull? It's quite a fucking hefty flame, I'm not going to lie. Like, what did he do? Just like
I think
fully...
he doused himself in gasoline and then just set himself alight.
And died after?
Died, yeah.
Wow. Fucking, that's crazy.
Better ways to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, in terms of controversy, I would say it's probably down the middle with 5 again. Like, it's an iconic image. Yes, it's a guy setting himself on fire, and the backstory behind it is quite intense because it's obviously the persecutions of Buddhists in South Vietnam. However, due to the fact it's the band that Rage are, it suits them perfectly. Kind of got their political music, and because it's not like a new image, it's kind of a iconic image known throughout the world anyway. I wouldn't say it's that controversial, but controversial enough.
Yeah, I would agree. A slap bang in the middle with 5 there, for exactly the same reasons. Cool. Are you reconfirming your order now, yeah?
I've got 10, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So my 5th then, we are going to move on to a Cannibal Corpse, The Wretched Spawn.
Excellent.
So yeah, second Cannibal Corpse one to make it in today, and again a rather heavily blurred image. So I'll walk you through this then. As suggested in the name, both album and band, these dudes are fairly gore obsessed. Here we see 3 demon-looking doctor type things, looking over a woman giving birth to hellspawn from 3 areas in the body. How lovely. One being the vagine. One is coming out of her stomach or her chest, and she is literally vomiting the other one up. They also look incredibly pleased with themselves and are eerily awaiting these hellspawn. There's a lot of blood. It's just generally a bit fucking creepy, to be honest with you. Thoughts?
It looks funky.
Funky, that's one word.
We've seen the unblurred version.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks...
It's right there as well. If you're wondering, you can see it all.
Yeah.
It's rather gross.
Yeah. But it looks cool. I wouldn't say it's too controversial, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty graphic, but...
I mean, to be fair, her tits are out as well. Her tits are out. You can see her literally giving birth to a hellspawn demon type thing.
Yeah.
Everything's on show. It's all right there. I would say that's definitely controversial.
Yeah, you're probably right. You are right. I like it. I like you.
Thanks. That's not controversial at all.
No.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna pop this right up there with a good 7 or an 8.
Wow. Okay.
I'm gonna say 7.
I'd go for 6.
Okay, fair. So when you think about it, though, that's only like one step above the monk setting himself on fire. No, quite frankly, I guess.
Oh yeah. All right. 7.
Yeah. I just think that this is a gruesome
What reasons,
depiction.
Sophie? What reasons do you hate it? I want to know. Pour out your life to me.
Yes.
Your life. We went slightly Irish there.
Yeah. Pour out your fucking life to me, and I'll buy you a pint of Guinness and tell you why you're wrong.
Mate, so.
Mate, so.
That's a bad start, isn't it?
There we go.
Right, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah, we're going to move on the basis of feminism. Here we go. There we go.
Oh, these days women can't even give birth to spawns. God, feminism. Right, I'm joking by the way. So going on to my actual next one, which was meant to be my next one a little while ago, but in fact I missed some. It is. I hope I'm right here, John. I am. I've seen it. Frenzel Rom with Dick Sandwich.
With what now?
Dick Sandwich. I've seen a Dick Sandwich, and I bought it from the store.
Okay, so this is a legitimate album.
Yes, it's pretty self-explanatory here. There are 3 severed penises.
Oh yeah.
2 of which are placed on a slice of bread. Nearby is a bottle of ketchup, or more likely blood. Thankfully, this is an animated piece.
Yes.
But there are 7 penises.
Why are the cocks like very white?
Well, they're severed.
Yeah, but
They've lost all their blood.
fair. But they're literally like white as snow.
Yeah.
Paper. A ghost.
Maybe it was Icelandic penises.
Escapenises.
Escapenises, yeah.
Fair.
So
I
yeah,
mean, I wouldn't put ketchup in a cock sandwich personally.
no, but that's why I'm thinking it is probably blood from cock blood.
Yeah, I would say so. But then why would you bottle it up? I mean, it's leaking out all over the sandwich anyway. It's just not worth it. So going back to the last image, in terms of the comments quickly, on the basis of feminism, overtly sexual imagery. I'm not sure if that's yeah. Of a woman in seriously painful and grotesque situations surrounded by creepy ass things, genuinely grim. Funnily enough, there's a penis museum in Iceland. Okay, fair enough.
Right.
The country, not the shop. Fair.
John, can you go back to the previous image, please?
Fair.
Thank you. I'm just trying to try not to cough. I'm just going on that overtly sexual thing. Trying to really figure out, would you class that as sexual as it's giving birth? So, yes, it's a naked woman. And usually, as far as I know, I've not really been to many births or any births, but
Many births or any births.
I'm under the assumption women do in fact keep their top on while just giving birth. But regardless of that, apart from that, how is it sexual? I'm genuinely intrigued how you think that.
Many births or any births. What a fucking name. We're gonna go with that, right?
Not the expression on her tits. Since when do her tits show expression? Sad boobs.
Sad boobs.
Anyway, cool. Fire back onto Dick Sandwich, which is awkward after that conversation.
Fire back onto it. Oh no, I can't.
Oh, I see. I've just seen the comment beforehand. The expression on her face.
Right, not the expression on her tits. Just
now it
her
makes
tits.
sense.
Yeah. Her face looks like it's been taken out of a porn. Out of a porn, just one singular porn. Mommy, Daddy, I watched a porn. Right.
Dick sandwich, right? Just a singular. No, there's only enough space for one dick sandwich in this podcast.
However, there are 2 dicks in the sandwich and one on the side next to it.
But it's one sandwich.
It is one sandwich. You are correct.
So yeah, controversy scares. Controversy
scares. I'm going to give this one a 6.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'm only going to give it a 6 purely because the imagery is cartoony enough that it's not really that offensive. However, the album title is called Dick Sandwich, and that is also on the front.
All right, 5 then for me.
Fair.
I'm easily led today. I don't have any set numbers in my head, to be honest. You can tell me the album's a 10 out of 10 later or 1 out of 10. I'll probably
Give me your money.
So yeah, I would give it a 5. It looks kind of funny. Yes, it is pretty grim that it's a dick sandwich, but it's cartoony enough. And to really get offended by that, I just guess it'd be more of the gore aspect rather than the penis aspect.
Yeah, fair. Cool. Are
Blow me
you
away.
ready? So here we go. This is by far the worst in terms of the sheer imagery of it. This is definitely the worst on my list, I would say.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So I'm gonna do a little spoiler alert here and say this is a straight up 10.
Okay, wow.
We have Impaled Choice Cuts.
Yeah.
So for anybody that can't really see, because the majority of this one is a radial blur, the cover seems to depict a newly birthed baby, literally like it's just come out of the womb. Umbilical cord still connected and everything. Seems to depict a newly birthed baby being sawn in half or slash having its head sawed off. Imaginably, this would cause some fucking outrage. So yeah, like I said, all of the innards, shall we say, are still attached, and the baby's literally having his head sewn off.
Yeah. Not to assume it's gender.
Yeah, sorry, genuinely sorry about that one. I missed that.
It might have been a girl.
Could have been.
Regardless, it's a head's a head, isn't it?
And a baby is a baby, and disgusting is disgusting.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a fake image, but it's designed well enough to look real.
It is, yeah. Again, even though it's a straight up 10, I would say jump on the net and have a look at this one just purely so that you can see how fucking realistic it actually is.
So throw the album name again.
The album name is Choice Cuts
By Impaled.
Impaled.
Right. Yeah, mad. I would agree with you on the 10. It's fucked up.
It's disgusting.
Like, newborn child. Hello, welcome to the world. We're going to cut your head off.
Yeah, for no reason whatsoever apart from Choice Cuts making it sound like it's a fucking butchery. It's like, we're going to put this in a packet and sell it in the stores.
Yeah.
Choice Cuts. This is like Tesco exclusive premium shit. This would be like the finest. There you go.
The most premium.
The most premium of awful things. I don't really have anything else to say about this. It's fucking gross. And
It's so messed up.
So we're both in agreement. It's a straight up 10.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Dun dun dun. Wild random challenge for you.
Yeah.
Keep them entertained for 2 minutes while I go and get some squash.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm really thirsty.
That's absolutely fine.
I had a bad day.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to say, and you've literally picked like the worst image for me to continue talking about. I mean, you could have at least moved on to your next one, and then, but yeah, cool. Fetus. Hi guys. Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. Yeah. Fire. Yeah, I'm quite grateful for that, to be honest with you. I don't really want a fetus being sawn in half on the screen for longer than it needs to be, because, you know, every podcast needs that for at least a couple of minutes, but there you have it.
I need you. It's so funny.
It's so funny. Funny.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
Alright, well,
You went too far, mate, to be honest.
you're accidentally brilliant.
Right, welcome back to the best selling podcast.
You can just see your fucking nose.
Yeah, I missed it.
Oh, this is great. You should get spiked more often.
Wow. That's public information now.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
That's
you
all right.
assumed I've told the room here.
Anyway, so welcome back. Hope Rob did a good job. What did I miss? I heard laughter.
Miss John telling me that the background had changed to fire, and then all I could see was him saying fire, 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 and me being like, where? Well, that's on fire. Do we need to leave? We need
Excellent.
to get a smoke alarm in here.
That's the controversy I like to do when I walk away. So, moving on to the next one, which is now properly this time, for the second time today, Slayer with God Hates Us All.
Okay.
And this album is pretty fucking controversial. Even more so that it was released on 9/11.
Whoa.
So the title of the album is controversial enough with God Hates Us All on that day.
Must have been pre-planned though. They can't have like.
Oh no, it was absolute coinkydinks.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. back then, surprise releases weren't a thing because internet wasn't really as big.
Yeah.
So yeah, and streaming did not exist. So yeah, released on 9/11. The title of the album is controversial enough. The artwork is a Bible covered in blood, with the band name burned into it. It also features nails driven into the Bible cover somewhat in the shape of the pentagram.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that causing a bit of a stir.
Very anti-religious.
Yeah. Somewhat typical of Slayer, though, isn't it? I mean.
Yeah. Typical Slayer, still controversial as fuck.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
For sure. Mad. I mean, I don't really have too much to say about it. You can tell why it's definitely going to have struck a few chords here and there.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for controversy.
Yeah, I'd probably say a 7 or an 8. No, yeah, I would say an 8 actually, because it's very. I think even though obviously the band can't be blamed for it as well, the fact that it was released on 9/11 is just salt in a very, very sore wound for people.
Absolutely.
Crazy.
Probably, not that Slayer have ever really been a small band, but probably made this album a lot more popular than it may have been because of the controversy behind it. I'm thinking that away from Slayer fans. Like maybe some metal fans are going, "Oh, let's check this out. We can hear about this a lot." Oh, that's crazy. It's just the album. People might like it. But yeah, as for your standard Slayer fan, I'm sure they weren't really surprised by it.
Major.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're both going for an 8 on that.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Are you ready for this next one? Because I'm quite intrigued to see whether or not you are like, no, yeah, I can see why it's controversial because similar sort of theme, or whether or not you'd be like me and I don't actually think it's that controversial. But it is "Fuck Me Jesus" by Marduk, which is a band that we covered obviously in Swedish Week the other week.
Yes, we did.
So yeah, naked woman somewhat silhouetted by black and white print, already enough to stir nowadays. Made worse or better depending on your philosophical bend by her using the cross of Jesus Christ to pleasure herself. And I can't work out if it's going in the butt or elsewhere, but
neither can I. I'm voting for the butt.
I'm thinking it's the butt because position and everything. Yeah, you can afford to be a bit more face down if it's not in the butt.
Yes, you can. So yeah, fuck me, Jesus.
Obviously, a little bit of blurring going on there, so you can't actually see the fornication itself. But
the titties.
Yes, she is fully nude, and the boobs are on show. So there you have it. Thoughts?
Weird. I would say it is actually controversial.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Because it's called Fuck Me Jesus, and there's a crucified Jesus statue or thing.
Yeah.
Going into one of her crevices.
Yes. And he is actually on the cross as well. If you can't see that in the small
foot first.
That is foot first. It's a very strange way to go.
Yeah, but I guess there's not enough length to the head.
Yeah. This is a woman that has some freaky fetishes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's massively controversial, but
no,
I can definitely see why it is controversial.
I mean, it's controversial, especially by nowadays standards, for sure. But it's not. There's no death. There's no. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of somewhat. It's easier on the eyes than seeing a baby being sawn in half.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it's definitely going to get like 6. I would say
6 is what I said as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I must point out, like when I was looking through this, a lot of these album covers are from last century, when things were widely more acceptable or not challenged, so there wasn't really anything in order. I think like the newest thing I found that was controversial was The Rise of the Phoenix by Tenacious D, just because it was a phoenix.
It is, yeah.
And that was like 2011, I think. So most of them. Recently, you can't really get away. I don't think many people try, or at least we don't know about it.
Too many snowflakes.
You say that on the hottest February week of all time.
Yeah, that's very fucking true. Cool.
Yeah.
So moving on, who have you got next?
I've got Marilyn Manson.
Marilyn Manson
with Holy Wood.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
very familiar album cover.
Yes, for sure. The artwork depicts Manson crucified like Jesus, but with his lower jaw missing. Fun fact for you: the missing.
Oh right, yeah. You see, I said the same thing, but they didn't believe me.
No, I am a believable guy.
Well, I am a believable guy.
The missing jaw was intended to take a shot at censorship in America, funnily enough.
So walk me through this because I don't like,
What do you say?
I don't quite get it.
So he's obviously up like Jesus,
Yep.
crucified.
So why does
That's-
the missing of the jaw matter at all?
I'm guessing that he can't say anything because not that he's dead anyway. But I guess the point of that is that you can't really say anything with a lower jaw missing because you need that to talk.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's him not being able to talk yet still showing a horrible image is a kick in the teeth a bit for censorship in America because I guess at that point that's when they were starting to censor a lot of things.
Was that another comment that's just come through there? Maybe. Looks like
Yes.
his nips have been cut off too. Yeah.
He does look that way, Sophie.
Maybe I'm just blind.
He was not at the scene for questioning.
No. Mad. So what are you going to give it?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Yeah, I'd probably say a 5 as well. It could be a lot worse. Yeah. Something like
It's
that.
nothing too crazy. It's bad enough because it's against Jesus. A lot of these are religion based.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too gruesome.
Yeah, like I said, could be a lot worse, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. So are you ready then for the second band that we are going to re-mention from Swedish Week?
Yes, I'm ready.
So we have the album cover that I talked about then, which was Mayhem, Dawn of the Black Hearts.
Yeah, man.
So for anybody that missed Swedish Week, go back and watch it. But to save you a little bit of time in the interim, a brief rundown of this is basically band member, the lead vocalist of a band, commits suicide by shooting himself in the head with a shotgun, and a fellow bandmate found his corpse. And rather than, phoning for a morgue or something, anything really, he decided to leave the property, go out and buy a disposable camera, take a picture of the corpse, and put it on some album work. Because that's what you do when your friends commit suicide, you see. You take pictures.
Yeah.
So the image itself is actually a painting of the photograph. However, it is incredibly lifelike and incredibly realistic in the worst places of the image. The only thing that's added, I believe, for extra effect is the knife. I don't actually think he did anything with a knife. Maybe he cut his wrist or something though. Or maybe the bandmate also thought, hey, I'll put that there and I'll stain it with a bit of his blood and that'll make the image even more artistic somehow.
Crazy that it goes through your mind to do any of this shit, man.
It's disgusting. Yeah, I mean, this is coming straight out of like the whole like satanic black metal, death metal kind of like devil worshipping, Levian worshipping, kind of that genre of things out in Sweden, as we discussed the other week. But yeah, fucking mental, really. The only thing that's kind of confusing for me about this, unless the corpse has kind of moved off, and you can see like a little pool of what looks like very dark blood on the left-hand side there, but there's no splatter up the wall, which I'm not being funny, but if you're gonna sit against a wall like that to the point where your body can slop down on the floor next to a wall like that, you expect that wall to be coated with a slug from that kind of close range. You would expect that wall to literally be coated. And also, most of his head in the picture is actually intact. And that's very confusing for me. Yeah, talk about your priorities though.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you give it?
10.
I would also give it a 10.
Just the whole fact, like, not only is it a dead body, yes, it's a painting of a dead body, which I found out later on today. I thought it was just like an altered image. Not only is it a dead body, it's a suicide, and it's also just the story of his mate taking a photo of it. It's just all messed up.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Fucked up beyond belief. Disgusting.
Yep.
Cool. So you are on your 9th.
I am on my 9th, and it is more of a funnier one in a way because it's obviously a cartoon. Nothing was real about it in this case.
Need a bit of fucking comic relief after everything, to be honest. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, it's no effects with heavy petting zoo. So this comedic style image depicts
what the fuck?
a man spooning a sheep at a petting zoo with his hand on the genitalia of said sheep. Pretty grim.
That is really rather grim. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's it's so weird. It's messed up. Obviously, it just looks so wrong.
No effects to that punk band, are they?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
They've been controversial their whole fucking career, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got kids in the background actually petting sheep like normal people.
Yep.
And you've got that sheep on the right hand side, just like, what the fuck am I?
What are you doing in my face, sir?
What's happening to Daisy?
Yeah, it's a bit fucked up.
But yeah, this guy seems pretty into it. The sheep doesn't seem to mind. Obviously, it's totally grim if it was like a real thing, but because it's entirely made on cartoon, it's a bit more funnier.
I mean, it's a very realistic looking image in some parts, though. You have to give it. I mean, like, look at his boots and stuff and his jeans.
Yeah.
Parts of it look very real. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And that is really fucking gross.
Yeah.
I'm never eating a kebab again.
That's probably made out of genitalia, knowing how crap they are. I'd never have a kebab. I had a kebab before I started the podcast.
I can literally still smell the garlic mayo. So there you go.
Wait to smell this. No, risky.
No, please don't.
So yeah,
Wait till you smell this. Can you keep them entertained for another 2 hours, please? Goodbye.
I need to whack myself down. Yeah, controversial. Yeah, still stick it with a 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually say a 5 for sure. It's got to be really because you just can't touch sheep in that way.
Or anything that doesn't want to.
Cool. Are you ready for quite possibly the most, and definitely for me, the most unnerving and disturbing? We've already kind of touched upon the topic of this. It is leftover crack with fuck world trade.
Yeah, man.
This is by far one of the worst fucking images known to man. Hello, Potter. Yeah. She's come to check out the disgustingness of what happens when 9/11 strikes. But basically, this is an album that was released less than 3 years after the attacks on the World Trade Center. And yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. We don't necessarily need to bleep any of this out or like blur any of this out. So one of the towers has obviously been struck. What the second tower is about to be, so the plane's actually in shot, and I thought that was quite possibly one of the worst parts about this image is that it's literally like the disaster happening in front of you. And there's also a government-looking official spraying fuel on the fire with a Halliburton gas pump, which is obviously very controversial because of their little fucking scandal that they had way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really fucked up. Again, it's like one of those things that's perhaps not as gory and gruesome to look at and may not appear like it's as controversial, but for me, worse than most of the things on this list, and definitely a straight up 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. To do something like this less than 3 years after the attack as well, which is, you know, airports were still being shaken down for major security and shit like that at this point in time. The country was still in pieces because of it. New York still hadn't really been fully rebuilt around Manhattan area at this point in time. People were still shocked. People were still recovering from like post-traumatic stress due to the shit that happened that day. And then there's a band that are just like, hey, check out our album.
Yeah. It's very controversial. It's
What would you give it?
bad. Probably a 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a 6, but I'm leaning towards 7, mainly because
Ooh, maybe a 6.
yeah.
Fuck that.
I mean, it's really bad, but it is a 7. It's like the image is bad. It shouldn't be used, really, to sell an album, especially with the added things at the bottom. But the whole fuck world trade is just a complete disrespect to everything that happened there.
Absolutely. Is it bad that I very nearly went with a joke that was like, what would you give it out of 9 out of 11?
Yes, it is bad.
Okay, that's fair.
That's controversial.
I'm glad I didn't go with that.
I've rated that controversial 8 out of 10.
Fair. So wait, my joke about it would have been worse than the album cover.
Yep, because it's poorly delivered.
Yeah, this is true.
No, you're fine.
I'm probably not.
No.
I'm probably going to be followed home by a drone.
What did you rate out of 10?
10.
Oh, 10.
Straight up 10.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, straight up 10.
Jesus.
In all fairness, a big part of me was leaning towards 9 out of 10, but I thought that in itself would be a pretty disgraceful joke that people would just assume that I did on purpose, so I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, awful.
Yeah.
Really fucking shit. Cool. So, we move on to your last.
We do.
And this is the one that you said that you were going to save until the end because of reasons.
Yeah. So this is disturbing in a way. It's disturbing in a different way from everything else. So whereas this is one image I found a couple of weeks ago when I first started getting images together.
Yeah.
Before I realised that John could blur them out, so I in fact censored this myself.
Right. Okay.
So this censoring, both censors on it are me. In other words, the full album is shown when not censored. And this is, go back a page because that's where it was in my writing style. Scorpions with Virgin Killer.
Okay. Wow, she's fucking young.
She certainly is. She is.
And you censored this yourself, so what? Like, she's fully in the buff?
Yes, technically. So, I'm not sure what was going through the minds of the record label who enforced Scorpions to do this.
What?
This was not Scorpions' choice, this was the record label. They wanted some controversy. It was quickly removed after release. Some people do own this album, many in Japan. This was an image that was quite difficult to find on the internet, and an image that I deleted as soon as I sent to the group chat, because I didn't want this involved with my search history, to be fair. But there it is. Yes, so I'm not sure what's going through the minds of the record label. Yep, it was their idea, not the band. The image is a 10-year-old girl, fully nude, and sat in a position where everything at the front can be seen. Whilst we'll only show a censored version, the original version was uncensored with just a glass crack covering her lower private parts. This artwork got removed eventually and was replaced by a photo of the band, and that is that. So,
That is disgraceful. She's 10 years old.
She's 10 years old. You can see from the pose that if that crack of glass wasn't there, so the crack of glass does cover everything down there. You can't see anything.
Right.
Right. But it leaves enough to the imagination if you want to go down that route, and sometimes you just do it naturally. That would be fully on show. On the actual censored, on the actual normal thing, you can see her nipples normally as well. I felt that I would censor that as well.
That is disgraceful.
Mm-hmm. Because again, even though it's like, so it's obviously a lot worse. This is what I was trying to say earlier with Nevermind. This is a lot worse than that because it's a grown child.
Yeah,
right?
It's not like a baby. A baby, there's something that's like kind of natural about it, whereas this is
not. This is a girl they've asked to
grotesque.
pose in that way, naked for a photo. I'm not sure who took the photo. If it was someone with the band, or it was a photo from earlier on, and they've used the photo. But I'm pretty sure it was just they hired a girl to sit there nude while they photographed her.
I mean, she's 10 years old, so her parents had to agree to let her do this as well, and that is also disgustingly controversial.
But back at that point, I guess you could use. It is art, I guess. I mean, I don't see it that way. I see it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's majorly
Why
fucked
go?
up.
We need some more controversy in the Scorpion's life. I know what. This.
A naked 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
So
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. When you sent this over to the group, I didn't realise that I thought it was controversial enough with the censored on there, because I was like, she's clearly like young, and that's enough. Do you know what I mean? Hey, what's up? Hello.
How you doing?
So, mate, let me roll a cigarette out of your backy.
Anyway,
yeah.
Wait, this is
no. Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
So this is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yep, 100%, and that's even
I think
even
this
like
might be the top one. I'm not sure.
That makes me a little bit uneasy saying it's a 10-year-old getting a 10 out of 10 for controversy.
Yeah,
Disgraceful, but I agree. That is, I thought that this was gonna be like among the top ones when you sent it over, and I thought the album cover, because the censored is in red as well, and the Virgin Killer is in red, I thought it belonged with the album cover. So I was like, wow, that's really fucking bad.
Yeah. No.
And you're telling me you have a cat's ass behind your shoulder?
Yes, I do.
Now
it's gone.
Yeah, I'm a bit shocked that that's actually like.
Yeah, it's mad.
I'm shocked. That's really fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, again, I wouldn't intend it as. I don't think they intend it as a sexual thing, because it's still a new child. Like in this day and age,
the album is called Virgin Killer.
Yeah.
It's there's
I
no
guess
way.
If you call it virgin, that's relating to sex, isn't it? So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Wow. Hello.
Yeah. So 10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree. That's wow.
What is your finale?
My finale is Acid Bath, When the Kite String Pops. And to be honest with you, I feel a lot easier about talking about this one now. Mostly because the image hasn't changed yet. There we go. Yeah, I feel a lot easier about talking about this one now because, quite frankly, I'm still shaken up from your last.
Yeah.
So essentially, upon first glance, people may not see much wrong with this. It's basically just a clown, which, you know, is scary enough for some people. The grimness in it, however, is Pogo the Clown, which you can see on his little badge there is I'm Pogo. And you can also see the artist's name in the corner there, which is J.W. Gacy. Now, anybody who doesn't know who that is John Wayne Gacy, who was a child serial killer and molester.
Yeah. Good timing.
Pogo the Clown was an alias used by child serial killer John Wayne Gacy. The painting on the cover was actually created by the killer a few weeks before his execution in prison. So that's a painting that the band have used that the serial killer of about 30 to 35. What might make you feel a little bit better following your last one in terms of awkward timing is that he, I believe, only, not that it makes it any better in the grand scheme of things, but just to rest your woes a little bit, he actually like sexually assaulted and murdered 33 young boys.
Right.
So still disgusting.
Yes.
And obviously his artwork is quite well known because they found loads of it in prison after his death. Like, they went and cleared his cell out, obviously, and there was quite a lot of artwork that was then made sort of public. But yeah, this is basically his alias that he used to sneak into children's parties and claim victims. So the band, there's obviously something that's a bit gross about the name When the Kite String Pops as well. Something about that is just kind of like suggestive of like strangling.
Yeah.
It's a kite string. A kite is like a child's toy.
Yeah. Not cool.
No. However, like I said, I was really dreading talking about this one, and then your last one came up, and I'm kind of feeling a little bit better about it now. So I think this is definitely going to get like an 8 from me, a 7 maybe, a 7. We'll go for a 7. But
I'm going with 3.
yeah, you don't think like a child serial killer's like own artwork being used for your album
But
is...
yeah, that's where the 3 comes up. It's only controversy because it's him and it's his artwork, but really it's just an image of the clown. Or okay, a killing clown. Okay.
like the alias
Almost,
that he
molesting was what I meant to say, not masturbating. But yeah.
Wow. I mean, this is literally a depiction of the alias that he used to use when he was murdering and molesting children.
Yeah, I get the controversy, but I still think it's low. Maybe I'm pushed to a 4.
Crazy. It was definitely a lot higher for me. Yeah. Razzie.
It's mad. Yeah. So there we have it.
Yeah, that's
Should
all
we
of them.
run down them again for the sake of it?
More than happy to, if you want to. Should we do your
I'll do
10, my
mine
10?
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my 10, just to show you all of them again, if that's cool. We have Celtic Frost or Celtic Frost with 2 Megatherion. Rage Against the Machine with Rage Against the Machine. Slayer with Christ Illusion.
I was going to say, you didn't... To be fair, you didn't read them in order, so you've probably forgotten your order already.
That's my bad. So yeah, Slayer. So this is the intended order. Celtic Frost, Rage Against the Machine, Rage Against the Machine. Slayer, Christ Illusion. Cannibal Corpse, Tomb of the Mutilated. Metallica with Load. Frenzel Rom with Dick Sandwich. Slayer with God Hates Us All. Marilyn Manson with Holywood. NoFX with Heavy Petting Zoo. And going very quickly on this one before you go straight into your next one, Scorpions with Virgin Killer.
Mine was Green Day, Dookie, and Nirvana, Nevermind. Steel Panther, All You Can Eat. Last Days of Humanity, Hymns of Indigestible Separation. Cannibal Corpse, The Wretched Spawn. Impaled, Choice Cuts. Marduk, Fuck Me Jesus. Mayhem, Dawn of the Black Hearts. Leftover Crack with Fuck World Trade, and Acid Bath When the Kite String Pops.
Here we go. Cool shit.
Yeah, so that is our top 20 most controversial album covers in rock and metal.
So, going on to a much more light-hearted thing.
Yeah.
It's Unsigned Week with The Ranch and their album 100 Miles Per Hour.
It's a pretty inventive name.
Yeah, I like it. Their album cover is actually really cool. I really like it.
Yeah, it's like the speedometer with the smiles.
Yeah, with the crazy open mouth towards the end at 100.
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, so I'll start this off. So going on with no, you'll start this off.
Yeah, I'll start this one off. So 100 SPH, which I'm going to assume is miles per hour.
What gave it away?
No, I don't know. Immediately funky as hell. Not sure if it will be my bag yet, but it's cool. Has definitely got a lot of skill that I could pick up on straight away. Drummer is great, and that guitar keyboard solo is fairly beast.
I've not heard someone use my bag normally in a sentence apart from Austin Powers. Sorry, just my bag, baby.
Groovy, baby.
So yeah, agree with the exact wording. Quite a funky track, of which the style surprised me, but I'm enjoying it. Not sure how I feel about the vocals at this point. They suit the musical style, but I'll see how my personal thoughts go on through the album.
Okay, fair. Yeah, interesting point that you make about the vocals there, because I really like them, but yeah, we'll get there. So we move on to Robodog.
Yes.
How fucking strange. What a strange little track. I'm lost for words. It's just so odd. There are so many elements that aren't typical for me, yet the skill involved is mad. When the song came to a head in the middle, lost my shit a little bit. It's pretty cool. Drummer is great. No vocals is strange, but okay. It's pretty cool. It's not unheard of in an album. Calm down. So what did you think to Robodog?
Yeah, so the intro of the track really reminds me of something, and it's driving me insane. I can't put my finger on it yet.
You still haven't been able to, no?
No, I feel like it's something by Avenge, but I'm also now thinking that at my workplace we have lots of repetitive pop on, and it might be one of those tracks. Not saying it's anything to do with repetitive pop, but it's the notes that are the same, not the style. So yeah, the intro, yeah, I've just said that. It goes on a bit, but I love the escalation of it and how it builds on itself. You can just chill and listen to it. It's just an instrumental track, which is a bit odd this early on in an album, but it works well.
Yeah, cool. So Bohemian Dance then, another bizarre trip. Though I'm becoming more impressed and actually growing to like aspects of it, I find the lack of vocals means it's losing something slightly. I wonder how much of the album is this way.
Yeah, so obviously, like I said with the last one, I didn't expect one this early. We'll go straight into another one, and certainly not the last. So another instrumental only piece, a bit slower and less interesting than Robodog. Still good though.
Yeah, cool. So number 4, A.
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 A very non-disclosing song name for a slow starter. The song doesn't really go anywhere, and so it's, for me, unfortunately, a clear least favourite.
Yeah, the instrumental only tracks continue, and whilst again it's not bad, it's just getting more simple as they go on, and it's killing momentum.
Okay, fair. So track 5 then, From the Mills. A
Yes.
great improvement on the last. Return to vocals, and I 100% prefer the way that it all comes together when the vocals are in. It's a funky track.
Yep, the return of vocals added to the track here is quite a trippy track, in fact, especially towards the end of the track. It's a track just quite a lot of times, and it's a step up from previous tracks.
Yeah, cool. Totally agree with that. So I hope I'm going to say this right. Parak.
That's what I think.
Parak. Jazz style drums is a big yes from me, straight up. Good vocals again. I feel that this puts a little bit more identity in. I've lost myself entirely. Yeah, it puts a little bit more identity in their music. It's a very trippy change in tempo and almost feels like an acid trip taking a bad turn, which was a pretty
cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good imagery there.
So I'm really liking the style of Parak. The vocals here, the style is great as well. The instrumentals accompany it well. The song goes into this droney space age style feeling, then jumps back up again. Best track so far.
Interesting. Cool, so we move on to The Ugly Duckling, which is, for me, a cool intro from from the previous song. Eerie sounding discorded vocal harmonies over the guitar make for a very weird intro into a slower build. Again, the vocals being on and on off with is a weird thing with songs like this becoming hard to follow.
So, The Ugly Duckling, yes, a nice transition from the previous track, and while it's another instrumental, it sounds good.
Cool.
There you go. Home.
It's a very different start to the rest. Her vocals are great, and I just wish that they had more of a presence on the album. A pretty cool acoustic and quiet track, but feels almost out of place.
Yeah, in what feels completely different from anything else I've heard on this album so far. It's very slow, and the backing instrumentals sound somewhat angelic at times, and it's all very calm. I actually love this track, and it is the best on the album.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I mean, I liked it a lot. Just felt like it was kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, it is out of nowhere. But speaking of out of nowhere,
Wild Goose Chase.
yes.
Sick bass line again. Jazz drums, really cool aspect for me personally. Vocals make an entrance and set this up for a strong opening. At this point, it's hard to guess where these songs are going to go. The answer is very peculiar.
Yeah, another track that caught me off guard with a rock and roll vibe with at times strange vocals, but they worked. Interesting for sure.
Yeah, cool. Free range. So a cool start with the guitar leading the charge through another vocalless track. Good skill, but okay. It's drowning a little bit. The album is starting to drown a little bit in the sense that I feel like I really was at this point in time. I just wanted more vocals.
Yeah,
I wanted more tracks with vocals, and I get that it's potentially like their thing, the whole instrumental side of things, but just the way that it all comes together when she's actually singing is perfect for me. It's not necessarily my style. It's not what I would choose to listen to off the top of my head, but suffice to say, it would have probably gone up quite a bit in my estimations if more of the album, if it was basically the other way around, where there was like a few instrumental tracks and mostly singing tracks, as opposed to what the reality is, which is mostly instrumentals and a couple singing tracks.
yeah. So Free Range, another instrumental. It's a tad on the boring side, as while it's somewhat impressive, it's samey all the way through. Cuckoo Train.
Cuckoo Train, another instrumental that in my opinion is dangerously long for this point of the album. It doesn't feel like a strong close, and I'm left feeling like it wasn't particularly necessary. That said, the skill involved in this album so far has been really good.
Yeah, it's Cuckoo Train, such a shame that it ends like this. A 6-minute 13-second track with pretty much the same beat all the way through. Let down.
Fair. So overalls then.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You go first.
So overall, I thought obvious skill and great musicianship. They're tight as fuck and play some tough stuff. I prefer the vocals and wish that there was more of that on the album. Some of the instrumentals get a bit tedious. However, I'm going to give them, I think, a 7 out of 10 for skill.
Yeah? Cool.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed the album with parts of it going on too long or being too samey. However, Home is a fantastic track and the styles shown throughout are impressive. And I actually, for one of the few rare times in my life, have a direct number of 6 out of 10.
Yeah, that was going to be my other if I was actually, for once we swapped places.
Yeah.
I was stuck between two numbers, and it was 7 or 6. But yeah, I went with the higher.
Yep, again, definitely impressive. I want to hear more from you guys.
They do have another album out as well. This is their newest one. They've got
they've got a previous album out,
Yeah.
or an EP at least. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Thank you for letting us review you.
Sorry.
That's that. Loads
My
of cats
God.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. I feel like if you added more songs, like the funky style, keep it going. Have instrumentals,
sure.
but have just more singing tracks than that.
And it's
have
worth
more change going on in them as well, because some of those instrumentals just became the same thing all the way through for 2 minutes and a half.
Yeah, a little bit. It's worth pointing out though that their drummer is fucking sick. I just saw the pussy. Oh, that was funny stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, cool. And that's that.
That is that.
You tired, sir?
I am not.
All right. Cool.
Not awake.
So that brings us to the untimely end.
Yes, thank you for joining us again on this 37th instalment. Join us next week when we will be discussing the topic of how classic bands would fare if they came out today. So we're going to choose like 15 bands or whatever and discuss them together. We won't have like different bands, like we had different albums artworks today. We'll just chat about the same bands together and see what we think if they came out today. Because some bands I know would be successful still, and some probably would not.
I think a good way for us to potentially do this, and we'll obviously behind closed doors, we'll solidify this. But I think we should maybe do that whole sort of thing where we think of a list of like criteria that we're going to mark each one by, just so that it's like standardized and we can go in depth about the reasons as to why a band would or wouldn't make it nowadays.
That could work.
Yeah,
I like that.
that is a good format. Look at us being all productive on camera.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll also bring you a review in the
Yes.
form of your choice.
It is my choice. So it's been one I've been on to for a while, but it hasn't happened. I've always thought something else, and today I can be able to think. So we're going with it. We are going with my favourite album of theirs. It's Children of Bodom with Hate Crew Death Roll. And I want to see what your take on it is. 'Cause I'm not sure, you don't really know much Bodom. do you?
I'm not outwardly not a fan, if that makes sense, but I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Hate Crew Death.
Roll.
Okay.
Pretty sure Death Roll is one word, but either way.
Either
Yes. So cool, Whip. Thank you for joining us. And we will. Well, first of all, before we disappear.
way.
So as you know, a cat is killing something in the kitchen. So yeah, as you know, Rob has been ill recently. So the next 3 reaction videos, firstly starting this Friday, announced on Thursday on something or other. You can have those. Those reaction videos were solo filmed. I hope it went well. I hope you enjoyed them. But all 3 songs were picked by Rob, as I will explain in those videos as well. And that's that.
That is that.
Join us on these pages up here. Follow us, do everything. And if you want us to review, react, or do a topic, you can let us know in our notes on Facebook. We bid you farewell.